Television series The Last of Us has been the major hype of this year. The creative engine HBO has adapted this popular game to the television, and it has been one of the most watched shows on TV. According to the creators of the series, the show is about love. But love in extreme conditions. What would you do when your loved one is in danger? Scriptwriter and one of the showrunners of The Last of Us is Craig Mazin, who has done an incredible job with HBO's another show, Chernobyl. In that show, Craig so beautifully narrated how the people react and act when a nuclear catastrophe happens and what they do to protect their loved ones. The Last of Us as a game was created by Neil Druckmann, and Neil is the other showrunner of the show with Craig. Actually, the hidden story of Tess, who is one of the most prominent characters of the show/game, reflects what The Last of Us is about. Craig and Neil do an official podcast of the series together, and they explain which themes inspired them while creating the show.
Throughout those games, and I think throughout our series, we will continue to come back to the notion that love conquers all, and that's problematic. That we think of love as this solely positive thing, a beautiful thing, and it is. But love, especially the love that a parent has for a child, is primal, and it can lead to the most intense fear, and the most intense fear can lead to the most intense behavior.
This fear causes one of the main characters, Joel, to have panic attacks.
Lately, there are these moments where the fear comes up out of nowhere. My heart feels like it stopped.
There are two main characters of the show, Joel and Ellie. Joel, who lost his daughter in the beginning of a fungal pandemic, transports Ellie for a mission. Then he develops parental love and protection also for her. Joel is not the only parent in the show. Neil and Craig tell the background story of Tess and how her story shapes her behaviors in the show.
There is something, we had talked about, and we wrote it. We never shot it. And it was a little bit of a backstory of Tess and the fact that Tess had a kid. She had a husband and she had a son, and they were infected, and she had to kill them. She killed her husband, but she could not kill the son. She couldn't do it.
She locked him in the basement.
She locked him in the basement, where theoretically he's still a clicker.
Neil states that the game and the series is about single parenting and how a parent can push the boundaries to protect their family.
We wanted to make an experience that really explored the unconditional love a parent feels for a child.
We see love as the ultimate goal and the most beautiful thing in the world. However, I find it so intriguing how Craig explains what kind of dreadful effects love may have.
And the most intense fear can lead to the most intense behavior, including violence. And if you scratch the surface of tribalism, racism, xenophobia, you will find love. Love is not always good.
I think what Craig says about love demands further investigation about various ideologies and different events happening all around the world. We may not realize how far we can go to protect our loved ones in our daily lives. But also every one of us goes through troublesome periods in our lives, and we may have a chance to see how we behave to care for our loved ones. Have you encountered that kind of an experience? Please share with us how you cope up with the hardships to look after the ones you love.